Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like, because what I'm about to reveal isn't something most women, or anyone, will tell you openly. This is about the subtle, almost invisible signals that tell you deep down that you've already captured her attention in a way few men ever do. And if you understand them, you'll gain a kind of unspoken power that changes the way women respond to you. I need you to listen carefully, because most men completely misread these moments. Imagine a woman sharing something personal with you, not a superficial story, but something that reveals her inner world, her fears, her dreams, the things she rarely tells anyone. That's not just casual conversation. That's a sign, and it's a powerful one. It's her way of saying, without saying it, that you are no longer just another guy to her. You've moved past the barrier of her social armor, and she's allowing herself to show vulnerability. Here's where most men trip up. When she opens up, it feels like it's just casual, like she's being friendly. But when you pay attention to the context, the timing, and the content, you begin to understand the truth. Sharing these things means she's assessing you, subconsciously evaluating if you are safe, trustworthy, and emotionally intelligent enough to handle her complexity. And if you respond correctly, if you show the right mix of confidence, calm, and emotional awareness, you've already won her respect and, in many cases, her affection. I want you to picture this. She tells you something intimate about her day, or confides a worry she hasn't shared with her closest friends. It's not an accident. She's measuring how you react, what your energy is like, whether you judge, dismiss, or minimize. The right reaction? You listen. You mirror understanding. You validate without overdoing it. You create a safe, magnetic presence that makes her feel seen in a way that almost no one else achieves. That's the first layer of the psychology at play here. You might think you need to impress her with words, with actions, with proving your value, but the truth is far simpler and more profound. She's already sending signals that matter far more than anything external you could do. If she shares these glimpses of herself, if she lets you into spaces other men never enter, it's not because she's polite or bored. It's because you've already triggered a sense of trust and intrigue that's rare and powerful. Once you start recognizing these moments, your entire approach to women shifts. You stop guessing and start reading reality. And that's when everything changes, because she's already letting you pass the gate that most men never even notice exists. Now let's get even deeper. This isn't about flattery or charm. It's about understanding a woman's subconscious signals and what they truly mean. When she shares something personal with you, it's not just words. It's energy, vulnerability, and permission all rolled into one. She's letting you see layers of herself that most people will never glimpse. That's a huge deal. You need to treat it as such, because the moment you dismiss it, misunderstand it, or react with the wrong energy, that window closes forever. Think about it. Why does she choose to confide in you? It's not random. Women are instinctively selective. They unconsciously scan every detail: your tone, your presence, your confidence. They measure whether you are capable of handling authenticity without judgment. When she tells you something she hasn't told others, she's signaling that you've passed her internal test. And no, this isn't about proving yourself in the traditional sense. It's about how naturally you make her feel safe, interesting, and respected. The key is subtlety. You never want to overreact, overanalyze, or overinvest. That destroys the magic. Here's a truth most men fail to see. When a woman shares herself freely, she's not asking for advice. She's revealing her inner world. Your role is not to fix, lecture, or overcomplicate. Your role is to witness, respond with awareness, and maintain the calm, magnetic presence that makes her feel like she can breathe when she's with you. Men who dominate the conversation or jump to solutions often misread these moments completely. She doesn't need rescuing. She needs recognition. She needs a container, a space where she can be herself without fearing judgment. That's the silent power at play. Another thing, the timing and consistency of her openness tell you volumes. If she only opens up sporadically, she's testing boundaries. If she consistently shares details of her day, her feelings, or her private thoughts, she's signaling long-term interest. This is where most men misinterpret friendliness as flirtation. Understanding this distinction is crucial because it separates men who stagnate in ambiguity from men who actually progress toward intimacy. It's all about perception, emotional intelligence, and restraint. Remember, every personal story, every subtle confession is a breadcrumb leading you closer to influence. Not manipulation, but connection. You can't force her to open up faster, but you can create the conditions where she does. When she does, it's a silent acknowledgement. You're not just another guy. You're someone who has already earned a space in her inner world. And once you understand that, your entire approach to dating, relationships, and female psychology changes. You stop chasing illusions and start recognizing the reality that's been in front of you all along. This isn't luck, it's psychological mastery. And when you grasp it, you'll never view her openness the same way again. Here's where most men completely miss the point, and it's critical you don't. When a woman shares something personal, it's more than words, it's trust. And trust, once given, is incredibly revealing. She's essentially saying, I feel safe enough with you to drop my guard. Most men hear this and think, she likes me, or worse, I need to escalate. That's a rookie mistake. The reality is much deeper. This is a window into her psyche, and how you navigate it determines whether you ascend in her world or get stuck on the friend track. I want you to visualize the energy shift that happens in these moments. She's watching your eyes, your reactions, your pauses. She's scanning for authenticity, strength, and calm. She's testing whether you can handle depth without collapsing into neediness, defensiveness, or overexcitement. When you respond with grounded confidence, when you show empathy without overinvesting, you're signaling a rare combination of security and attraction. That's magnetic to women. It's the unspoken chemistry that few men understand, and even fewer can cultivate intentionally. Here's the secret most men will never grasp. Sharing personal information is her way of measuring emotional intelligence. She's asking, silently, are you the kind of man who can hold my truth without breaking it, judging it, or running from it? If you can, you've already moved past 90% of the competition. It's not about impressing her with wealth, looks, or status. It's about demonstrating the subtle mastery of emotional presence. That's the language women respond to instinctively. And let's be clear, this is not manipulation. This is perception. The difference is profound. Manipulation seeks control. Understanding seeks awareness. You're not trying to trick her. You're recognizing the signs she's already giving you. Every story she shares, every quiet confession, every vulnerable glance is an unspoken vote of confidence in you. And once you begin reading these signs, you stop guessing. You stop overanalyzing every word or action. You start acting in alignment with reality, and reality, in this case, is her subconscious attraction and trust. If she laughs at your small jokes, tells you things she's never told friends, or shares thoughts she keeps private from almost everyone, those are not coincidences. They are indicators of connection. Recognize them, respect them, respond appropriately, because mishandling this, the wrong tone, the wrong joke, the wrong energy, can snap that connection instantly. But when handled with precision, it builds a psychological bond far stronger than physical attraction alone. Understanding this changes everything. You begin to see women not as puzzles, but as humans, expressing a hidden language, and you start speaking it naturally, effortlessly, and with subtle authority. That's how you win without trying. Now, let's dissect another layer that most men completely overlook. When a woman shares something personal, it's not just about connection, it's about testing compatibility. She's observing how you handle nuance, emotion, and subtle social cues. Every reaction you have, every phrase you use, every micro-expression she sees is being catalogued. She's unconsciously asking, can this man hold space for me without threatening me or overstepping? And this isn't something you can fake. It's instinctive, subconscious, and brutally honest. Here's the reality. The men who succeed at this aren't the loudest, the richest, or the most physically impressive. They're the ones who maintain emotional balance while engaging with her truth. When she shares a fear, a dream, or even a minor insecurity, your response either builds trust or erodes it. A neutral, composed, yet empathetic reaction signals that you're safe to her subconscious mind. That's the invisible currency that most men never even know exists, but it's infinitely more valuable than any superficial charm or flashy gesture. Notice this: when she voluntarily discloses parts of herself, she's already making a psychological bet on you. She's opening doors that most men will never even find. And this is where men lose the game. They misunderstand the signal, overcompensate with words or attention, and accidentally make themselves appear insecure or needy. That destroys the tension that creates attraction. Instead, the men who succeed keep their cool, mirror her authenticity, and silently affirm that her vulnerability is safe in their presence. That's power without effort, influence without manipulation. And it goes deeper. The context of her sharing is just as important as the content. If she chooses quiet, private moments, she's signaling high trust. If she shares something light or playful publicly, she's testing social dynamics. Recognizing the difference is critical because each type of disclosure carries a different weight in her subconscious evaluation of you. This is where men who are tuned in psychologically can leap ahead. They understand that not all sharing is equal, and timing, setting, and emotional tone all matter. Here's the psychological truth. When she opens up consistently, it's a signal that you are already winning in a way most men will never achieve. She's granting you access to her inner circle, her emotional landscape, and her personal reality. This is more powerful than any compliment or physical intimacy. It's her subconscious confirmation that you are rare, trustworthy, and desirable. Once you grasp this, your interactions with women shift from guesswork to strategy, from hope to precision, from anxiety to calm authority. You don't chase, you don't need, you simply recognize, and that recognition alone changes everything. Now, let's go even deeper, because this is where men either rise or fall. When a woman shares something deeply personal, she's signaling not just trust, but emotional alignment. She's asking, without words, whether you are someone whose inner world can coexist with hers. Most men don't notice this. They hear the words and think, she's just being nice, or I should respond with a joke. But in reality, she's measuring emotional compatibility, resilience, and the capacity for presence. This is a silent evaluation that occurs in every intimate conversation, and it's where most men completely misread the signs. Here's the thing: emotional alignment is invisible to men who rely solely on charm or physical attraction. It's not about grand gestures or impressing her socially. It's about how you hold yourself when she exposes her vulnerability. Do you become anxious, overbearing, or dismissive? Or do you remain grounded, attentive, and confident? Your response determines whether she subconsciously sees you as safe, stable, and desirable, or just another temporary interaction. Women don't verbalize this, they feel it, and the feeling sticks far longer than any compliment or touch ever could. Pay attention to the nuances, the small hesitations before she shares, the choice of words, the frequency of disclosures. All of these are signals. When a woman shares, she is extending an invitation into her inner life. Every detail, even minor frustrations or personal quirks, is a test. She's seeing if you can tolerate complexity, inconsistency, and emotion without judgment or withdrawal. Men who panic or overanalyze fail this test instantly. Men who maintain composure respond with curiosity and honor her reality pass, and they pass in a way that feels effortless, almost invisible, yet profoundly magnetic. And here's a psychological truth most men overlook. Once she begins sharing consistently, it's because she's already made an unconscious decision. You don't have to earn her attention through pursuit or pressure. You've already crossed the threshold that separates ordinary interactions from meaningful connection. The act of sharing itself is her recognition of your value, even if she's not consciously aware of it. You become the man who can occupy her inner world without breaking it, which is far rarer than being physically attractive or charming. Finally, understand this: these moments are fleeting. They are subtle, delicate, and easy to mismanage. But when navigated correctly, they create a bond that transcends ordinary attraction. You don't need to chase or perform. You simply recognize, respond appropriately, and let your presence do the work. She's already drawn to you, already invested in the connection, and already revealing truths to you that most men will never see. That's the real victory. Now let's bring everything full circle, because this is where the real power lies. When a woman shares something intimate with you, understand that it's not about fleeting attraction. It's about trust, safety, and emotional resonance. She's revealing layers of herself that are rarely shown, and she's doing it because, deep down, she senses you can handle them. Most men never realize this. They see words and stories, but miss the emotional contract beneath them. That contract is simple. If you respond with presence, respect, and calm confidence, you cement your place in her inner world. If you falter, you disappear from it instantly. Here's what separates the men who succeed from those who don't. Awareness. Awareness of her subtle cues, her timing, her vulnerability. Awareness of how your own energy influences her perception. Every word you say, every micro-expression you show, every moment of silence carries weight. She's not consciously tracking it, but her subconscious mind is, and it reacts instantly, categorically, and with lasting impact. When she senses that you are emotionally intelligent, stable, and safe, she gravitates toward you naturally. She opens doors she wouldn't open for anyone else. She shares truths she hides from most people. That's your leverage, not manipulation, not games, just presence and perception. Remember this, when she entrusts you with her inner world, you've already won a psychological advantage most men will never even recognize. This isn't about chasing attention, proving worth, or forcing intimacy. It's about recognizing the signals she's giving freely, responding with the right energy, and allowing her to feel safe, seen, and understood. That's why men who master this subtle art become magnetic without trying. They operate on a level that goes beyond surface attraction. She doesn't just like you, she feels the security and authenticity in your presence. Every shared story, every confession, every glimpse into her private world is a breadcrumb leading you to a deeper bond. Ignore it, misread it, or overreact, and the window closes. But treat it with precision, emotional balance, and calm confidence, and you create a connection that's almost impossible to break. That's the truth most men never understand. Vulnerability shared is a silent acknowledgement of trust and interest. And once it's given, it's a doorway into influence, attraction, and respect that few men ever experience. So the next time she opens up, pay attention, listen, respond wisely, maintain presence, because she's already giving you everything most men spend years trying to earn. And when you see it, understand it, and act with awareness, you stop chasing illusions and start operating in reality. You've already won.